Lucid Air is back from the dead, and in a big way. They just got a major investment injection with the money that looked like originally was going to Tesla. So a bit of interesting irony there. Also, a few Elon Musk tweets that I haven't addressed yet because I was at the event for Audi e-tron in San Francisco for a couple of days. Definitely gonna talk about that. A lot of you guys wanted me to address the Bob Lutz comments, which I wasn't really going to, but okay, I will do that. I think we're kind of gonna all agree on it. And there's great news coming out of Kia about the Niro EV. It looks like every news about Kia Niro EV has been pretty good. So we're definitely going to talk about that. So and a few other things. There's another good news coming out from Tesla that I personally been waiting for over a year, but I'm not sure if I'll be actually getting it. So it would be interesting to see. Anyway, let's talk about it all coming up next. Thank you to those of you who are watching me live on Patreon right now. And of course, if this is your first time here, welcome. If you're interested in staying up to date on everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, you came to the right place. Click on that subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward. All right, let's talk about Lucid Air. And this is the car that's been announced a couple of years ago. They're headquartered in the Bay Area, actually. And I did a report on them right here from Monterey Car Week of 2017, where they were pretty much the only electric car that was being presented there. My latest report from the Monterey Car Week included 7 electric car. So definitely Lucid was kind of a pioneer. I have to say, one of the most luxurious inside the interiors of an electric car. I was really rooting for them, but unfortunately they started to run out of money and was pretty much dead, slowly dying until this week when the Saudi Arabia's investment fund threw $1 billion at them, and now they're back to pretty much their plans. They're now announcing that they're going to start producing this car in 2020. And by the way, the CEO of Lucid Motors is a former vice president of Tesla, and their chief engineer who helped to design the Model S and quit shortly after it went to production. So lots of history there, and only made it even kind of more interesting that the money that Elon originally claimed that Saudi Arabia's investment fund was going to inject into Tesla to help them go private is now going to Lucid. Now, of course, some people are questioning whether or not this is something they want to, entertain an idea about a car that's being funded by Saudi Arabia. Some people have problems where the money is coming from. Some people have problems in general. Some of the human rights in Saudi Arabia, and this is their national fund. So it is definitely a philosophical / political question for quite a few people. So we'll see what happens there. I have my own thoughts, but I'll let people make their own decision on this one. Nevertheless, the Saudi Arabia investment fund, they have been trying to I can't even pronounce the word anymore, but they've been trying to invest in a lot of green energy. They've also bought up to 5% of Tesla shares, not through any kind of direct deal. They've been just kind of buying them on the stock market. So they now own 5% of Tesla, and they're definitely going to have a control package over this company. But it's exciting because they're actually, the technology is pretty good. They're claiming 400-mile range, which is still going to be relevant even in 2020. Autonomous driving and quite a few other things that I've seen, at least when I reviewed their car. They were absolutely great and still very relevant. The exterior design, judge for yourself. I think it's pretty cool, but I'm sure they'll make some changes to that as well. And they do have a location where they're going to be building up their factory, which they haven't started, but they have the place. So obviously it's a bit aggressive, to go in production in 2020, but we'll see what happens. I'm just happy that this company is now alive and is able to hopefully produce these amazing cars. Any new player, and I'm just going to go ahead and call him new player at this point, on the market is definitely welcome. All right, let's talk about Kia Niro EV, but before that, I just want to tell you guys about one of our newer sponsors, which is Climate Exchange. And I'm really excited because they are a nonprofit organization, and they're running this raffle, which is insane. Now, there's a link in the description of this video to the raffle. They're raffling off not 1, not 2, 3 different Teslas, and they're only selling 4,000 tickets, okay? The tickets are $250, but because they're only selling 4,000 of them, your chances of getting a Tesla, winning a Tesla, is less than 1,400, 1 in 1,400, which is kind of insane. So use that link. I know quite a few of you guys already bought it. I think it's a relatively good investment into this chance, but also, you'll be supporting their mission, which is a great one, which is to move us towards the low carbon economy. And this is where you can get more information on their website at Climate Exchange. So thank you to them, and good luck to you guys for those of you who are entering the raffle. All right, let's talk about Kia Niro EV. And this is another great announcement. By the way, this is a picture I took myself at their unveiling in Las Vegas in January of this year. I love the way this car looks. I like the fact that it's going to be priced at under $40,000, which means really around $30,000 if you use up a lot of incentives that we have here and in other countries and states and so forth. But they made another announcement this week that the range is actually going to be 301 miles. Now, that's not an EPA range. That's what they're estimating. But before that, at first, they said it would be 238, I believe. Then it was like 250, which was still pretty impressive for the car in that price range. But the fact that it's going to be over 300, or at least around that, is definitely getting you even more for your money. So this is definitely a great development. They're going in production later this year, and this is one of the most anticipated electric cars. Now, I know I've been reporting on a lot of interesting and cool stories and luxury cars like e-tron recently, but really, if you think about it, as far as electric car for an affordable electric car that also makes sense and looks good, Kia Niro EV, along with kind of their sister car, if you will, Hyundai Kona EV, is definitely going to be one of the best choices you can get. So I say next year these two cars are really going to take the market by storm, and I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's move on to some good news from Tesla. And this, Elon Musk is announcing this on Twitter, the new version, the version 9 that's coming out with quite a few new features, the new interface, some of the self-driving feature is going to be added. A lot of people are really excited, including myself, to get it on our cars. Now, now Elon Musk is saying that the dash cam feature is going to be also included. He said it was good news. Tesla engineers rallied, and this will be part of V9. They're going through the final testing, whatever that means, but it looks like within a few weeks we should have it. I'm the guy who's always been saying how you absolutely have to have dash cams in your cars. I mean, ironically, my little Volt got hit before I was able to get a dash cam in there. Otherwise, I would be able to know who hit me and not have to spend $500 fixing it. But that's a whole different story. Anyway, so that's great. I mean, I'm hoping other manufacturers will follow soon as well, because, most of these companies who are producing cars with autonomous driving have all these cameras. All they have to do is put a little hard drive in there and get the recording. And I can't stress enough how important it is to have the dash cams on board in case if there's an accident or something happens even in your front yard and your car is parked there and recording everything 24/7. So kudos to Tesla for doing that. However, I have an Autopilot in the first version, and I'm not really sure if that's going to be applied to us or it's just going to be the second version of our Autopilot. I have a feeling it's just for the second version. I mean, that's fine. I already have the dash cam from ThinkWare in my Tesla anyway. But for everyone else's sake, I hope at least they're going to consider the version 1 upgrade, but we'll never know. All right, let's move on to another series of tweets from Elon Musk, and this one is a little weird. So he was talking about the collision centers and repair body shops that all of us, pretty much, whoever had to deal with that, probably would attest that this is one of the most painful part of owning a Tesla. If you get hit and you have to go and repair your car, you'll wait for a very long time, a lot of times. And so Elon Musk tweeted saying that they're going to solve that problem. He says that Tesla is bringing most collision repairs in-house, as outside firms take weeks to months for repairs, driving Tesla owners and us crazy. And then he followed it up by saying, outside repair shops are jack of all trades, blah, blah, blah. Tesla Collision Repair specializes in 3, having all parts in stock and not waiting for insurance approval also make a world of a difference. Okay, but Elon, the reason those body shops take weeks and months, frustrating us and apparently you, is because you guys are not supplying them with parts. they can't stock those parts, and so they have to order them as soon as there's a customer that needs it, and then you guys take a long time to get it to them because you're obviously busy producing the cars, for sale. And so yeah, but I'm not really sure how taking it in-house is going to change if you are not going to make more parts available. And by the way, not waiting for insurance approval, not really sure how that's going to work, because insurance has to give you an approval, whether it's in-house or third party. You have to give an approval in order to have the repairs paid for. So I'm not really sure where that's coming from, but definitely the fact that the bottleneck is not in the body shops but in you guys is kind of a commonly known fact at this point. As a matter of fact, it's so known that when somebody pointed it out to Elon, including myself, on Twitter, he said, yeah, that's our problem. Yeah, it is your problem. Service and parts supply in general will be the top Tesla priority after we get through the insane car delivery logistics of the next few weeks. Okay, Elon, so we're on the same page, right? It looks like you're trying to solve a problem you created yourself, which brings me to a question. What's the point of having in-house repair shops? Now, don't get me wrong, whatever speeds up this process definitely helps, but I like to have, competition between body shops. That's the whole point of capitalism, right? So the service goes up, the speed goes up and everything. If you guys are going to be doing everything in-house, well, you're going to be kind of a monopoly, which means that what makes you really want to provide better service since there's no competition. But bottom line is, I'm glad we agreed now that the bottleneck is in your part supplies. So what I really wish for is that you guys would actually make some extra parts, or at least dedicate some of the production to that, so we won't be as frustrated as we are right now. He also followed it up with another weird tweet that says, goal is for repair costs to be better than before accident. Should always be true if damaged used parts are correctly replaced with newer parts. Okay, that also kind of baffles me, and let me know in the comment section if you guys maybe have a different insight on that. But usually the best way to put the car together is originally when it's in production. So when you mess it around with it after an accident, and actually even if you put a newer part in there, still the fact that it may not be a perfect fit and the fact that it's being done in a body shop afterwards overall does compromise the quality of the build, no matter what. Now, if you're suggesting that the part is better because it's a newer version, well, I would prefer, and that's how actually most manufacturers work, is that you design the parts good and well in the first place so they don't have to have an upgrade within itself, which unfortunately is the case with a lot of Tesla parts. So if you're replacing a part on a damaged car, that should be replaced with a pretty much an identical undamaged part, which shouldn't be no better than the one before. And again, I think just structurally, because you're kind of putting all the stuff together after taking it apart, is going to compromise the quality of the car. So I'm not really sure what he's talking about, but you guys, if you disagree with me or maybe I'm missing something, let me know. All right, so let's talk about Bob Lutz. Which I didn't really want to talk about because he once again went on TV and said that Tesla is doomed. Now, I think anybody at this point who believes that Tesla is going anywhere is just an idiot, for the lack of the better word, because basically they are too big to fail. They make great product. Yes, we can talk about quality delays and all of that stuff, but overall it's too big. They're way almost years ahead of most of the other companies, though a lot of them are catching up. Their supercharging network is still ahead of almost everybody else once again, even though people are catching up. But I don't see how he thinks that Tesla is going to fail. Now, I understand he thinks that, maybe it will be harder for them to raise money because they're under investigation of Securities and Exchange Commission, and they may actually put a hold on any kind of money funding or money raising activities, which we don't really know if that's going to be true. Also, not really sure if I want to take advice from somebody who ran his own company into the ground while making crappy cars. So I'm not really sure why this is news. I'm not really sure why people are even listening to his opinion. I think it's a joke. I think anybody who says that Tesla is going to fail and go belly up is just at this point, I would say, uneducated in terms of what's happening with the company and their product. Now, speaking of that very fatal tweet, when Elon Musk said that they're considering taking the Tesla private, as I mentioned, he is already under investigation of SEC, but now there are reports, I believe Bloomberg reports, that now there's an investigation from Department of Justice. Tesla did confirm that Department of Justice had approached them, asking for some documents and information and so forth. which overall kind of confirms that they are investigating this one way or another. We don't know where this is going to be going, but yet again, this is not helping. Obviously, one tweet and all of this trouble. By the way, this is a screenshot from that tweet literally last night, so this tweet is still up. But nevertheless, another issue to deal with for Tesla, though I'm not quite sure what the investigation is going to be really for. By the way, even if Elon Musk goes, I was thinking like, well, what happened if Elon Musk goes to prison for like 6 months, like let's say Martha Stewart, right? I'm thinking, I bet the stock is not even going to go down because, first of all, he's going to get a break and maybe reset. So that could be a good thing. Secondly, I think it will get them more publicity and more kind of a rock star title that, well, I mean, he already has one, but maybe like reconfirm it, because Martha Stewart's image has kind of went up there after she did time in jail. So to be honest with you, I don't even think that's going to be a problem if he does go to. I think it's going to benefit the company. So I'm just saying, let me know if you agree or disagree in the comment section. But let's get to the comment section right now. Comment of the day. And this one comes from Kevin Roll. He says, don't forget. Oh, so this is as I told you guys last night, I've reserved the Audi e-tron to hopefully, I mean, I'm not 100% on this, to replace my Tesla next year because I've been just having a really, really tough time with all 3 of my Teslas and the cars and the service and so forth. Kevin says, don't forget, just because you have had some problems with your Tesla doesn't mean a whole lot. There are thousands of people that haven't had any problems. Yes, there are thousands of people who don't have any problems, but there are hundreds of thousands of Teslas out there. So you might want to rethink that number. But so here's the thing. My personal experience is my personal experience. It's my personal decision to look for another company that I believe can replace my car. I've had 3 Teslas. All of them had problems, way more than I ever had with any brands. And I've used to own a Jaguar and a used Cadillac. So just saying. But also it's how they handle it, how they treat me at their service centers. I now tried 5 different service centers and I've been just overly frustrated. But also don't forget, I run one of the largest Model S owners group on Facebook, and I see what kind of messages go on there. I've been doing it for almost 6 years. I see how the posts change. I see less excitement and more frustration, and I see a lot of frustrations because of some of the issues that people have been having and how Tesla has been handling it. So this is not just a frustration on my part. I think a lot of other people are frustrated in larger numbers than I would expect from the brand that makes such a great car, right? So you kind of have to break through our excitement of the car to get to our frustration. So, and again, I'm glad that a lot of people are having a great time with Tesla and never had any problems. I wish I wouldn't either, but unfortunately that was my experience and experience of many other people. And, I just believe that Audi e-tron would just be the car for me where I don't have to deal with it. Is this the same amazing car as a Model S? No, absolutely not. But to me, it's good enough and comes with a great, at least a peace of mind for me to know that I won't have to deal with the car and the bad service and delayed in parts and stuff like that. And I think that's a bit of a higher priority for me. Again, this is just my opinion, than having a best car ever, but then having all of these issues. Anyway, let me know in the comment section if you guys had good or bad experiences and so forth. But yeah, this is just my personal opinion, so hopefully you can respect that. All right, well, that's it for me. Will be more news tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, those of you who are watching me on Patreon, stay on for the extra mile. We'll talk a little bit about the event in San Francisco. I'll tell you some interesting stories. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.